What do you make of the season so far from a Manchester United point of view?
Well, I'm sure that obviously everybody expected a better start to the season because, like you said, he's obviously been in place. I don't know how many months exactly, but quite a bit of time. He had obviously pre-season. He's brought players in, and I said it before. It says for Amorim as well as to put a really strong foothold, he almost needs to win his first 7 to 8 games. To making sure that, listen, we've got things right now. Things are on track. The players started to buy in exactly the way that they want to play. The performances are there. The results are there. And that's how you build confidence and belief, and then everything goes. But it was a bit of a, how do you say it? A bit of a huff and puff start. The League Cup game against Grimsby, obviously lose at home to Arsenal, draw against Fulham, obviously they win Burnley just at the end. And you're constantly waiting for something to galvanise, really galvanise. Obviously the win against Chelsea, obviously every win is massively important. The key now is for them to get on a run, to get consistency, in those performances and those results. Will they come? And that is a really good and important question. I don't think anybody outside can't answer, because the evidence is there that every week, you can't really see what kind of performance and result is coming. So we have to wait for the next, like say, 8 to 10 games and then look back again.
There's a lot of discussion about Amorim's system and his lack of flexibility.
It's not about the system. We lost against Grimsby about the system.
Couldn't have gone any worse.
He stuck to the same system. He needs to change it a little bit.
Guys, it's not the system.
I think it's just better for everybody if they shake hands and move on.
As a coach, what's your take on it? Do you need to be adaptable as a manager and as a coach?
I think that was, under Sir Alex Ferguson, one of our biggest strengths. Yeah, certain ways and principles that we always adhere to. But I think adaptability and flexibility was the biggest weapon that we had, because it was so hard for, teams to try to prepare themselves for us, not only because we had this great strength in depth. And yes, you can play 4-3-3 with 2 wingers that stay on the line and have got certain qualities to utilise and go past, or you can have 2 wingers that come in the pockets all the time, and fullbacks go over the top. Completely 2 different, and that's the sort of flexibility that I'm talking about, because that kind of flexibility creates unpredictability. That's very hard to defend. I said from the start, I don't think it was wise for him to say, I want to play 3-4-3 and this is what I'm going to do and I'm not going to change. I think he should have said, listen, I am in favour of 3-4-3. I had a lot of success with it. I really hope that I can make it work at Manchester United, but I first need to have a look at the players that I've got. I need to look at the Premier League, because it's a completely different league than obviously Portugal. And if it doesn't work, then I have to be a little bit creative and maybe adapt here and there. That he would have given himself by far more freedom.
Are you seeing progress, enough progress to think that better times are coming?
No, not enough, I have to say, because I haven't really seen, certain things that I think what United was always good about. I mean, a kind of a level of authority in possession. You know what I mean? If you look at a lot of the games, then it's even the opposition that has more possession than Manchester United. If you look at the vulnerability still, if you play certain players together in the midfield, let's say, and I keep saying that if he does play Casemiro there, you lose a little bit of energy and legs, and opposition, expose that. There's still a vulnerability at the back. And you can see the opposition creating chances, and they still concede too many goals. So those are still areas which I think areas of concern. Obviously, Onana's gone. Are these 2 goalkeepers good enough? My opinion, I don't think so.
How difficult is it within the setup at Manchester United? The players are at Carrington, they're working every day with the manager. When you're not winning games, how difficult is it? Because there is such a huge expectation to win games every week at Manchester United.
Well, absolutely, and that is obviously, because if you think about it as well, Tim, you need to think about what has the last 3 years done to those players that were under Ten Hag and are still here, right? Because normally when a manager does leave and another one comes in, you do normally see a bit of an uptake. We haven't seen that. We have seen, you know what I mean? And obviously Tanakh has his way of doing things. Amorim has his things of doing away. And there's only one way. There's only one medicine, is winning. That's only it. That creates that belief. That creates that confidence to go in and get. Listen, we're getting somewhere now. You know what I mean? And that is the way that you want. And now there's no European games, so they can work basically from weekend to weekend. So you've got a whole week training to go and prepare. But that's the danger, that the manager tries to persist with something where the players might have something. Is this really going to work? And that can never happen. You always have to pull from the same hymn sheet.
And when you look around the Premier League, Liverpool strengthened over the summer. A lot of other teams have strengthened as well. How do you see the Premier League at the top of the table? Is it as difficult as it's ever been to win the Premier League right now?
Well, it's obviously getting harder. I think the Premier League overall, over the last 10 years, has had an enormous quality impulse. Just look at the teams at Brighton, you know, and look at their recruitment and transfer process. Absolutely outstanding, fantastic style of play. Brentford, you know, Bournemouth, you know, all those teams. You can't just, as Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, you can't just rock up at Bournemouth and say, well, let's pick up the 3 points here. That the whole impulse of quality has strengthened the Premier League tremendously.